Alrighty, guys, here we are with the in the bag for the 2025 season. Switched a lot of things out in the last week. Now I'm bagging only Discraft. Anyways, we'll start with putting putters. I'm putting with the Paul Macbeth Kratos for the year. I really like the feed on them, and they're pretty nice and flat. Good grip because I was putting with P2Xs at the start of the year, and they would just slip out of my hand. So now that I have some good grip, these won't fall out of my hand hopefully. Throwing putters. We have a Big Z Luna, super flippy. Like if I throw this thing on hyzer, it'll flip up to flat, get a nice smooth turn out of it. Loving this disc. My favorite throwing putter is the Titanium Luna, just dead straight. Like, I mean, you put this thing on any angle, it's just gonna go the exact angle that you put it on. Last two throwing putters. We have an ESP Zone. This one's my dead straight forehand disc. I can like rip on this thing full power. This thing will just hold a dead straight line, no fade at all. It's been really, really good in the bag. Pretty cool looking disc too. Last but not least, I have a Tour Series Z Luna, Zone. Good forehand disc because it's nice and stable. Come out your hand, go 250, have a nice comfortable fade at the end. Loving this disc as well. All right, now we're moving on to the mid ranges. Start out flippiest to stable. My flippy one, Z Buzz. I've been throwing this one. I've had this in the bag before. This one has a very comfortable flip to it, and it'll just ride that line and never come back. It's a good trusty flippy disc. Straight disc. I have this UV Buzz. This thing I can put it on a little bit of hyzer. It'll flip up to flat, and it'll just ride that line probably close to 375 if I can really rip it. Shout out the Olympus course, chess.com invitational last year. Another Buzz. We have a McBeast 6 Claw Buzz. This one is my more stable one. It's got a little dome to it, but it'll hold straight. Have a little bit of fade at the end. Probably after close to about 375, it'll have a fade. Pretty pink. You'll never lose that. More stable. We have a Buzz OS, a Z Buzz OS, just a basic stock run. This one I've been able to rip and just it'll hold straight and have a more fade than that. Pink Buzz, and you know this thing feels so good in the hand. I'm gonna be loving this one all year. Last but not least, the most stable mid-range I carry is the Malta. This thing I throw this thing probably 300 feet and it has so much fade. All right, now we're on to the fairway drivers. Shout out Nick Carl. This is an Undertaker he gave me. This one has a nice flip to it, nice comfortable flip, kind of like that orange Buzz I just showed. Throw this thing flat, it'll go to the right and never really come back very much. Been loving this thing for hyzer flips to turn. Next up, probably my favorite mold in the Discraft lineup is the Athena. This one is one of my pink ones. I've been throwing this one for a long time, probably a couple weeks now, and it's really starting to beat into perfection. But I can rip this thing flat. It'll give a little bit of turn, but it'll always come back to flat. So been loving this thing for dead straight shots, tunnel shots, anything that I really need for that slot. A more stable Athena that I have is this Z Paul Macbeth Athena, and this thing throw it flat and it'll come and fade every time. 6th amp, but being clear, it's very hard to find sometimes. But rip this thing flat, it'll fade. A lot more stable than that other Athena that I just showed. Next up, we have a Captain's Raptor. I believe this is a ESP Swirl. This one's a little straighter than my other Captain's Raptor, but this one I can rip flat on a forehand. It'll go about 380, and then it'll have some comfortable fade to it. But again, not as stable as most Captain Raptors are. My other Captain's Raptor here is the Flex Jawbreaker. This thing you can rip and you won't get more than 320 out of this thing because of how stable it is. But it's very nice for like if you have spiked hyzer, a Spike Hyzer forehand, or you just need something that you can trust in the headwind, this is what I've been throwing for that. Onto my 10 speeds. We have an ESP Vulture. This thing I've had in the bag before years ago. Took it out for a long time and brought it back in. This thing, I can throw it dead straight, flat, and it'll go like 430, get a nice little fade, come back every single time. Just love the feel of this ESP plastic too. It's been great. Last but not least, in the 10-speed slot is this Onyx, Big Z Onyx. I've been ripping this thing and I've been loving it too. It's like 450 I can get out of it, flies straight, and then it has a huge fade at the end. This is gonna be like my headwind when I need a comfortable yet controlled shot. Nice little 450 headwind, comfortable fade every single time. All right, last slots, the distance drivers. Probably the most important. Anyways, we start with the Zeus. This is my flippy Zeus. This one I can throw flat, get that nice turn, and it'll never come back. Always have one of these in the bag. This one is a ESP, so this one's a little flippier. I've noticed that ESP ones are usually flippier. It's a misprint one, and so it's actually super nice and unique. Been loving it. I believe it's 2 of every mold. I'm trying to figure out some things in the distance driver slot, but here's another Zeus. This one's a more stable Zeus. ESP Swirl. The Olympus. Shout out Olympus again. But been loving this one. It's a little more stable, so I can throw this one flat. It'll turn and come back. Can hit usually 475 with this one. Pretty comfortably too. We have 2 forces in the bag. This one's my straight to fade one. This one I can rip 475 to close to 500 and get a comfortable fade with it. Not too much. It's not a dumpy fade, but it's a pretty comfortable fade with this one. So this one is my very overstable disc. This one I throw flat, and it usually doesn't let me get past 450. But this is my Spike Hyzer, forehand Spike Hyzer, just a basic, Z force. 2 Venoms in the bag. Been kind of figuring out if these are this or force should be in the bag. So first off, we have a Big Z Venom, Anthony Barella's Venom. Haven't really thrown this one much, but what I know is that it dry. I could throw this one like 500, and then it'll have a fade at the end. Being white, it'll be dirty in, who knows, a week, 2 weeks. We'll see how many times I throw it. My other Venom, the exact same flight comes out of this thing. This one is I believe it's ESP Swirl, but it's got like shimmer in it. Shout out Anthony Barella in this one. But this one has a nice little flex to it, but it's the same exact flight with that one. I can rip it flat, 500, and it'll have a fade at the end. Not really much turn. My bombers. I have 2 ESP nukes in the bag, Paige Pierce nuke, and then a Nick Carl nuke. This one, again, 500, but this one I can get close to maybe 510 on a real good rip. But just flick this thing out there, let it get its turn, and let it come back. Max distance, wide open field. All right, now the bag. All right, so I'm carrying the Squatch. I believe it's the Legend 3.0 bag. The Kallheimer one. Not too much special about it, except for it can carry a ton of discs. Whether you need a practice round or you're just playing a tournament, this thing is comfortable. You can fit as many discs as you need. You can carry minis. You can carry. I have 7 discs on top up here, chalk bags. By the way, Loot. This is my sponsor for the year. Loot chalk bags are the best. Go get yourself some. We have our pens over here. Of course, gotta always have those. We got some Bogey Be Gone over here. Can't ever forget that. We have our stick, our max distance stick. I use this so much because I throw in water way too many times than I should be. another important part of my bag is this rangefinder, whether I be 420 out or 360 and it's straight uphill and I need to know what disc I'm pulling. This has been super helpful all year. Other side of the bag, phone pouch, been great for being able to just slap your phone in there instead of having to try to figure out where to put it. We got our signatures over here, a ton of different professional signatures in there. These pockets, there's two, one on each side, and it's been great because you can just put a giant water bottle in there. You can put phones, snacks, whatever you need. It's just super accessible, and you know, this bag has been incredible. I would never probably use anything else because of how good these things are. And then of course we have our Discraft Buzz towel. I love the microfiber towels because they soak up anything that's wet without getting drenched themselves. So that's it for gonna be it for the video. It's been great with this bag, discs. We're gonna have a great 2025 season. We'll see how it goes.